And so, the 2022 F1 season has come to a conclusion. Congratulations to Max Verstappen and Red Bull Racing on winning the title this year. Now, I made some predictions, and it's safe to say they didn't age too well. I haven't looked at them yet. Let's see just how I got on with it here. Alright, so we're going to kick things off looking back at my driver's standings predictions. Let's see just how wrong I was here. I'm pretty sure I severely overhyped Williams. The very bottom of the pack, number 20, I have Zhou Guanyu. Yep. There we go, off to a great start. I remember I was not a big fan of Alfa Romeo going into the year. That P19 is going to be Valtteri. And I put Bottas at 19? Enough to get higher up on the driver. Really? I knew I wasn't a fan of Alfa Romeo, but I didn't think I had Bottas that low. That was way off when you look at the fact that Bottas ended up in 10th. 18, I have Mick Schumacher. Mick in 18, we're getting closer, but... not great still. 0 for 3 so far. P17, Yuki Tsunoda. I might have had a chance getting this one right. So moving up, P17 for the year. I have Fernando Alonso. I think that the Alpine, the L plan, it's not going to work. I put Nando at 17th. He got 9th. Fernando got 9th, and I put him at 17th. I wasn't a fan of Alpine. Granted, the reliability... Alpine's reliability was horrible throughout the season, but not P17 bad for Nando. So that means 16, I also have their other Alpine teammate, Esteban Ocon. I think that I put Ocon at 16th. Either way here, but I just think that Ocon got 8th in the actual standings. Up any higher. So wow, P15, okay. I have the other Haas driver, Kevin Magnussen. I'm wrong again. I'm 0 for 5, off to a great start. Not even. I'm 0 for 6. Can I get a single pick right? So at number 14, come on. I have Lance Stroll. Nope. I am not one off. Stroll is 15th. Gasly was 14th IRL. Well, but I have Nicholas Latifi and the Williams. Yep, there it is. Overhyped. Up and coming team now. I put Latifi P13. Around them. I think this is going to be a good year for Williams. Good year for Williams, yeah. Yeah, sure. And 12, it's going to be the other Aston Martin. I have Sebastian Vettel. I got Seb. That's it. That's all I've been able to get so far. Up to P12. I've gotten one right. I'll take it, though. Really tough season for Seb. Kind of sad to see him go out this way. Granted, he did get a point in Abu Dhabi at the last race, but you just wish better for him than being stuck in the Aston Martin tractor. And 11, I have the other Williams, Alex Albon, coming back into F1. I think he's going to be... Albon? Albon was 19th. Yeah.
It's not looking good, Bev.
It's not looking good. I cannot believe I thought Williams was going to be that good. I remember thinking back then it was a sound thought process, because I don't know now. Looking back, it's stupid, but I mean, hindsight's always 20/20. So. Moving on, number 10 for me, 10. I have Yuki Tsunoda. Yeah. I think that the AlphaTauri is going to be a really good car this year. I think that the AlphaTauri is going to be a really bad car this last year. That's what I should have been saying. Disappointing. And hindsight, I think I probably could have put them higher up on here now. I don't know. I said I could have put them higher up, man. AlphaTauri, I think Yuki's going to have a big step up in his performance. Honestly, Yuki wasn't that bad this year. Pierre was a bit of a step down from what we know him as, but how much of that can you attribute to the car, and how much of that can you actually attribute to Pierre? I still stand by putting Gasly at P9 on this one. It might have been way off. He might have been P14 IRL, but it's Pierre Gasly. He's a solid driver. Number 8, I have Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, overhyping Ricciardo. McLaren this year is one of the cars that I am lost on. I have no clue if they're going to be like top 3 team or bottom 3 team. That bit was spot on. If you remember how they started the season, like the first 2-3 races, they were a backmarker car. They were the slowest or second slowest car. And then at other points in the season, they ended up being top 3, top 4 as far as fastest cars goes. Come the end of the season, they settled into around P5 territory behind Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, and then Alpine were just slightly ahead of them. That prediction was pretty spot on. They were all over the field throughout the year. P7, Lando Norris IRL. He's still on the board for me. I have Checo Perez. Nope. Yeah, I didn't think the Red Bull was going to be as good as it was, because there's all the rumors coming out that they put so much of their effort from this last year or the year before into that car and winning that championship with Max against Lewis, that we all just kind of thought they were going to be slower this year, but that clearly wasn't the case by their dominant constructors and drivers. performance. P6, there's no way I put Lewis.
Lando Norris, the
Yeah,
other
I already said
McLaren team.
Lando
I think
Norris.
he's going to outperform Ricardo again.
I mean, I was only one spot off this time, but once you get this close to the top, it's a lot more predictable.
And number 5 for me, I have Carlos Sainz.
Hey, I got another one. Nice. I've gotten 2 right so far with Sebi and Carlos.
And I know he's a fantastic driver, but I think that once Charles gets a little bit more consistency underneath him this year, because last year wasn't exactly his greatest season in F1, I think he's going to bounce back.
When I said that Charles didn't have the best year of his career last year, he's probably going to bounce back this year.
Consistent finishes, top 5 and up. Sainz on up is going to be like a upper level.
It wasn't exactly from Sainz on up, but I mean, I wasn't far off. I was one spot away. You could put George in there, and then there you go.
Defending champion, Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
I don't think that Red Bull's going to be the fastest car.
I didn't think that Red Bull was going to be the fastest car. That's the biggest mistake I made in this whole thing. That was poor by me. Yeah, at this point, the only potential pick I can get right is Charles. If I remember correctly, I put him to win the championship. So I think I got 2 out of 20 right. That's great.
So he's going to Verstappen.
Verstappen, all right. He did his thing. I just didn't imagine his thing was going to be winning every single race this year.
Number 3, the first of the Mercedes.
Lewis or George?
George Russell.
George. Really good year from George, though. He got that win in Brazil, which I'm a George fan at heart, despite all of his whole villain arc stuff this year and taking out people. But I've been a George fan through and through these last few years, so I was really happy to see that. It was one of the few races I actually watched this year. As an American, I'm not trying to get up at 6, 7, 8 in the morning to watch races. So when I get to watch something at noon, 1 o'clock, it's fantastic. Yeah, good year from George. I was one spot off on him as well, so not too bad there.
But number 2, I have the big man himself, Lewis Hamilton.
Who I put in P2, it's kind of interesting. Because I put him at P2 in this, and he got P6. IRL. And I don't think he had a bad year. He out-qualified George. He was the better qualifier of the two. You could say in Brazil he probably would have won if he didn't pick up that damage from Max earlier on in the race. I don't know if you can say probably. George was the best driver all throughout the whole weekend. You saw it in the sprint race too. He was dominant. I don't think Lewis had a bad year. Not as bad as people are saying he did. But that P6 in the drivers and being 35 points off of George, next year will be really interesting to see how he bounces back. So now, obviously, that means I put Charles Leclerc as my winner. And after Bahrain, after that very first race, I was hyped. I thought I actually made a decent predictions list because Charles got P1, the Red Bulls DNF'd, so I thought, okay, they're going to be bad this year. They're going to have all kinds of reliability problems. Ferrari is rapid. No. Ferrari went and Ferrari'd, and Max went and Verstappen. And from, 4 or 5 races on, the season was done. Max had won it at that point already. Alright, so I've absolutely bottled my driver's predictions. My constructors weren't any better. Let's take a look. I got 1 right. I got Ferrari right, and that was it. I thought Mercedes were going to win the thing. They did not. They got 3rd. Ferrari P2. Red Bull, I thought they were going to suck. They did anything but suck. They won the constructors by almost 200 points, which is ridiculous numbers. McLaren, I put P4. They were P5 behind Alpine, who I put P9. Absolutely disrespectful towards Fernando and Esteban Ocon. AlphaTauri, I also severely overhyped, similar to Mercedes. And the next car on the list, Williams. Williams went back to doing what Williams does best, which is suck. Ended up pulling in P10. AlphaTauri, 1 spot above them. Haas. Oh, I got Haas right, too. Never mind, I got 2 out of 10. Big stuff here. Haas and Ferrari. Those guesses on Alpine, AlphaTauri, and Williams were embarrassing, though. Oh, I got 3 right. I forgot. I had Aston Martin at P7. Okay, 3 out of 10 doesn't make it look as bad anymore. I think I can still say I know what I'm talking about to some degree. Yep, I did not make any wacky, goofy season predictions, which I'm kind of sad about, because I think in the good of my heart, with the constructors there, I would have said that George was going to win a race. So I was hoping I could look back on that and be like, I told you so, but it's not on video. There's no proof I said it, so I just gotta take the L on this one and move on to next year. Hopefully we can pin things a little bit more accurately and just accept the fact that Red Bull are going to be the best car on the grid year in and year out for the next 7.5 years. Anyways, that's going to be about it for this one. See you guys in however long. Who knows? I'm not a good content creator. I get things done when I get things done. See ya.